So, Akil, we want to know more about Advizex's current initiatives in the AI space. What can you tell us there?
So we are working with a lot of customers who have huge amount of data, terabytes, petabytes, but they don't know how to use that data. So we are helping them in basically align their data portfolio, look at the quality of data, and then help them create a business solution using the AI. So let's say for retail purposes, we are looking at shrinkage, the inventory in the retail store, what people are doing, how to integrate all that into the uh, AI basically.
Thanks, Akil. Let's get specific on retail,
Yeah.
Tony.
So Akil hit on one that's top of mind for me as well, which is shrinkage or loss, and that's one that's top of mind for me. The other one for me is as I look at the retail vertical is sentiment analysis, and that's where more around AI, where customers are going in and AI is doing analytics around facial expressions as far as when they're looking at particular merchandise. Another one that's top of mind for me is price optimization. We were just talking about an article coming out around Wendy's, where they're going to have through their drive-through, they'll have a actual digital menu where they can actually change the price depending on what time of the day to drive more revenue for the company. So it may be a lower price at a particular time of day where they're not getting as much drive up traffic. So again, it's to drive more revenue for the company. So and then the last one is for me top of mind from a retail perspective is chatbot. Just driving a more positive customer experience. Just a simple analogy for me is when I call and check on my Macy's statement. I call. I don't need to talk to anybody. It's voice recognition.
And let's stay in the retail space. Anybody can contribute here. How do you foresee AI shaping the future of retail as a business?
So the future of retail, in my opinion, is real-time inventory management. I mean, there are large retailers who have multiple stores around the area.
Mhm.
They want to manage their inventory. So, for example, in one retail store, you may have hundreds of refrigerators lying and nobody's buying, but in the other store, they are running out of inventory. So people want to do real-time management and saying, okay, how do I move so that my things get sold much faster? Because nobody wants to keep their items on shelf within the retail chain.
Tony, what would you add about how the future of retail will be impacted?
I mean, there'll be a lot of changes in it, I think in a positive way, but to me, I think it's also just on the execution. I think, Mitch, you were touching on that earlier, and that's where Advizex really steps in as far as picking those particular solutions that are not where you're trying to boil the ocean, or you're not really truly testing it, and you're investing a lot before you even know what your ultimate outcome wants to be.
Mitch, you mentioned every company doesn't need to be what they do in their business and an IT company. That's why Advizex exists. Right. So, Chris, I want you to build on that as we think about the capabilities that are being added to the Advizex team with Fulcrum IT partners, and especially the recent acquisition of Razor.
Yeah. So Razor brings a lot of capabilities to Advizex that we're all very excited about. Mitch mentioned earlier, it's difficult to come by data scientists, right? That's one type of resource that Razor can bring to the table. But on top of that, they have application integration specialists, mathematicians, and folks who can create devices, right? So for example, if you are looking for an AI-enabled proximity sensor, that's something that they can build from the ground up. And meet the customer where they're at. So we're very excited about that. It brings us a whole new level of capability, right? It's great to have a lot of infrastructure that can run AI, but unless you have somebody who actually knows how to take advantage of it, it's just a very expensive heater. So Razor's the group that's going to help us take advantage of it.
Thanks.
Yeah. And they can also help us in assessments, discovery phase, to really understand the use case and pain points of the customer.
Akil, you mentioned assessments, and that's where a lot of businesses are right now, right? They're trying to figure out, Are we ready to do this? What kind of data do we have? Where does it live? So Advizex has been offering this AI readiness assessment to get businesses in that mindset. Where do they exist right now? Akil, you want to tell us a little bit more about what that readiness assessment entails? And then with that information, what can we do from here?
So as you know, in AI, everything starts with the data. What you have in your possession, what you want to get the use case. So part of assessment is to work with the customer to understand their use case, pain points, what kind of business solution they are looking for, and then also help them look at their data, what type of data they have, their data quality, data integrity, where the data is located, if how well it is available, and then to provide on top of that data security, governance, and compliance so that that data can be effectively used. So Advizex helps customer understand the initial data architecture and also look at their maturity level for meeting the AI deployments. And we can help them in once we have done the discovery, define the data architecture, define the maturity levels, we can help them in designing the infrastructure and storage requirements to meet the processing power required. And then it's up to customer to say at the beginning, are we going to build or we are going to buy? And most of the POC people want to do initially just learn how to crawl, doing it in public cloud or on-prem cloud, just to understand before investing heavily into the build environment.